Chapter 12. Hamingja. Waking earlier than he did the day before, Kai felt an immediate, innate sense of conquest and pride with his hunting accomplishment, although he found it far more difficult to move with the injury his shoulder had sustained. He had two words on his mind: known, unknown. With a rush of importance and seriousness, he dragged himself out of his fort using one arm, wrapped up the two dead carcasses by the fire, and began making his way to the known unknown, where he had met Bard and the Berserkers just 2 days prior. Although Kai felt confident in himself, he was unsure about how Bard would receive his accomplishment. There almost seemed to be a desire, drive, and motivation, a rage even from Bard, to see him fail. Kai would sometimes second-guess himself on this, as he acknowledged the hard fact that he was late upon arrival. But the idea that there was something beyond merely his poor punctuality for Bard's rage remained subtly at bay, the same way the stick Bard had measured the time with didn't, when Kai thought about it, appear entirely shadowless. As Kai began to walk, his mind drifted into stories of his childhood, of the saga of the first year the path began, and was first initiated exactly 300 years ago. As he walked, he began talking to the dead mother elk and the calf he was dragging with one arm. Everyone in the Langa tribe knew about the former Langa-Troust alliance and how the Great Schism had come about after King Frode betrayed our leader, King Gorm, Kai began, stopping to breathe periodically. After King Gorm fell on the battlefield, you see, his loyal Hersir, Asbjorn Eric, and a few soldiers were able to escape and return to the Langa tribe to formally pronounce Gorm's son, Ari, to the throne. Quickly, they readied the village for any potential incoming Troust attack, which continued and still continues to this day. Kai stopped, caught his breath, wiped his brow, looked back at the dead elk, looked forward, and continued speaking. Our village after King Gorm's death immediately called a thing, and in the assembly, Sage Sten ushered in the path. You see, the path is a ritual designed and appointed by the gods as a way for our tribe to weed out the weak and confirm Odin's choice Viking warriors. Why do the gods select choice Viking warriors as early as 16? Kai asked, probing the dead elk with a hint of repeating what he'd heard growing up, but beginning to slightly question it now that he was in it. In a monotone voice, he recalled, "It is to protect all the brothers in battle and the tribe's prosperity from weak warriors. It is for good Hamingja, for the tribe's survival in having only the best skills, talents, and influences passed down to further generations." Kai repeated in the same way someone would speak a line they'd memorized and said every day. "And," he continued with slightly more energy and excitement, "it is the gods who decide the fate of every man from the day of their birth to their path, from battles with the Troust trash to the English raids," Kai said aloud, pausing before he continued. "And so far, my dear elk, I think it just may be evident that Odin's fate favors me." As he continued walking, the yellow and brown leaves at his feet began to rise to the level of his shins in much the same way they had done upon him first approaching the known unknown. He was getting closer. Then a thought suddenly caught hold of him. "Your first test will be doubled, with half the supply necessary to carry it out," he remembered Bard saying. "How many more tests will I have to undergo before I am Viking?" he asked aloud, as he continued dragging the two elk with one arm slowly along the steadfast path before him. Then a voice in his mind responded with a soft and subtle answer that he immediately suppressed. "As many as it takes, and maybe one more after that."